right on then and put the spotlight on cash flow-based financing platform Velocity. They've announced the launch of a 300 crore growth capital for Indian B2B SaaS businesses. Abhiroop Medhekar is the co-founder and CEO of the company, now joining in on the show to discuss that and more. Thanks so much for taking time out to start off with. Tell us, which NBFCs have you partnered with and what exactly is it that you're offering?
Sure. So see, as a quick background, we started Velocity 3 years back, and we have been focused primarily on the e-commerce and food delivery sectors until now. We have been funding their growth capital needs. And the new announcement is that we are planning to deploy 300 crores into the growth needs of B2B SaaS companies now. We operate in partnership with NBFC, with a bunch of NBFCs and regulated entities in India. We are partners with NBFCs like Oxizo, Ugrow Capital. Then we are also partners with Trillion Loans and a few more NBFCs. And the way we work with them is that we work with them to create a product which meets the requirements of the customers that we work with. And we have created products which meet the requirements of the fast-growing B2B SaaS companies in India. And that's a new announcement we are making now, that this year, that's a new entry for us. And we are super bullish on the potential of the sector. And we have big plans coming up.
Right, so I understand that Velocity will be offering a fixed-term credit product, and that will provide these SaaS businesses with financing that is proportional to 3 to 6 times the amount of their monthly recurring revenue. Can you just give us more perspective?
Yes, that is accurate. So if I take an example to explain that, if a B2B SaaS company, for example, is doing $100,000 of monthly recurring revenue, they can raise anywhere between $300,000 to $600,000 from us. It all happens via a fully digital process in which we plug into their existing data sources across their accounting software, their payment gateways, etc. And the financing is made available to them within a matter of 5 to 7 days. That capital they can deploy towards their growth needs, which includes their go-to-market spends, their sales and marketing spends. Typically, we've observed that B2B SaaS companies need to spend in marketing to acquire customers, and they try and recover that spend over the course of the next 6 to 12 months. So to be in line with that, we have created a product which will be of a duration of 12 months, in which they'll get this capital upfront, and they'll pay us back over the course of the next 12 months in equal installments.
Right, and what exactly is your financing model?
So on the financing side, we work in partnership with NBFCs and regulated entities in India. We're already partners with 6 of them. We have raised a bunch of equity at our end also, and then we have debt lines on top of that. And we deploy a combination of that towards the needs of the companies that we work with.
Can you give us an example of the companies that you have worked with, how the SaaS companies benefit in terms of their expansion?
Sure, absolutely. So see, as an example, we recently funded a company called Attica Global. It's an India-based SaaS company which provides sales and revenue management software, particularly focused on the hotel industry in the US. So it's a team which is based in India, but most of their revenue comes from US clients. And they find it difficult to raise money in India because the typical financiers in India, like banks, etc., they don't really understand this India-US model. They don't really understand the software revenue flows. And we specialize in that, right? So we have funded them, and they deployed the capital towards the go-to the next 12 months. I also want to highlight is that it's not a single transaction that we look at. We keep on supporting their growth capital needs across multiple cycles. So almost all of our customers work with us across multiple cycles. After they pay back a good share of the previous financing, they become eligible for top-up financing. And that way they keep on growing with us across cycles.
And I understand that you've disbursed loans worth about over 400 crores in FY23. What's the growth target down the line?
Sure. So in 2023, we deployed 400 crores of loans. Most of this was in the sectors that we were focused on back then, which is e-commerce and food delivery. The new foray that we are making is in the B2B SaaS space. This year, our plans are that we broadly want to double the deployment that we make to existing sectors. So 800 crores will go towards e-commerce and food delivery. And the additional 300 crore is being earmarked for the needs of the B2B SaaS companies. That's a new sector that we're expanding into this year. So we estimate that we'll be deploying anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 crores this year across the 3 industries that I talked about.
So give us a sense as well as to what your lifetime investments have been, some of the companies as well that and brands that you've funded.
Yes. So 2,000 lifetime investments would be across close to 1,000 brands. As I mentioned that a bunch of brands work with us across multiple cycles repeatedly. To take an example of a few of them, we have funded a Surat-based brand called French Crown, which is an e-commerce apparel brand. They build high-quality apparels in India, and most of their revenue also comes from the US market because they sell on Amazon, US, and also on their own website. We have funded them across the last 2 or 3 years. They have grown significantly with us, and we keep on supporting their growth needs. Another example would be a brand called Soulflower. It's a personal care brand based out of Mumbai. And they are a mix of online and offline brand. They do have offline presence as well, but a good share of their revenue comes from their own website and marketplaces. We have been working with them for the last 1.5 years, and they've also grown at least 2 to 2.5 times on the back of our funding. So we primarily ensure that we are working with brands and we are unlocking growth for them. And we have observed that capital is a big unlock. But beyond that, also, we do a bunch of things across our partnerships, across the tools and technologies that we provide to support their growth across multiple channels.
All right, good to have you on board. Thanks so much for joining in.